Hello everyone, welcome to the series of videos that we are discussing about Namakam, SriRudram inner meaning. In the last video we started Anuvaka 2 and in this video we will continue Anuvaka 2. So let us recap what we discussed in the last video about Anuvaka 2. So in the last video what we discussed was we kind of essentially explaining Ishvara is in the form of sun and he is giving us all directions. That's what we discussed. I'll just quickly draw. Namo Hiranya Bahave Senanye Disancha Pataye Namo. So we are referring to sun, and sun is nothing but Ishvara, and he is giving us all the directions, whatever the directions we see, north, south, west and east, and he is giving us all the paths also. Like if you see, the other one is Namo Saspinjaraya Tvishimate Padhinam Pataye Nama. Because of sun's light and that illumination, we are able to see all the paths. That is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is Vedas, Ishvara is giving us several paths to follow. The karma, ritualistic path, upasana, worship path, or gnana, knowledge path. Those are the three paths he is giving us. And the other way to look at it is, if you see any of these rivers, right? Ishvara is the reason for the formation of all those rivers, if you see. So if you see river Godavari, that starts all the way in somewhere in Nasik, Maharashtra, and all it goes through multiple states, and finally it merges in the Bay of Bengal. Same with any other river like river Ganga. Even if in US, if you take Mississippi, that is also the same case. So all those rivers, the paths, basically Ishvara, that is another way to look at it. And we refer to Vrukshebhyo Harikesebhya Pasunam Pataye Namaha. See, we talked about trees, right? He is in the form of trees. Any time we see any tree, we should be able to visualize in the form of Rudra with green braided hair and all that. And because of Ishvara only, Ishvara is Antaryami. Because of Ishvara only, we get lot of things from the trees. It could be shade, it could be fruits, it could be anything. And even after the tree, even after we want to cut the tree, we can use the trunk as wood and for several purposes. So that we discussed. And then we discussed about Namo Bhablusaya Vivyadhine Annanam Pataye Namaha. Babruhu, we discussed that is nothing but the Nandi. And Ishvara is riding that Nandi. Nandi is the symbolic form of Dharma. Ishvara is riding on Dharma and he is giving us all these Ghoras and Aghoras. And the next one is Namo Harikesaya Upavitine Pushthanam Pataye Namaha. We discussed about that Ishvara has that Sahaja Upavita. It is not that he is wearing some Upavita based on his samskara. He has that Sahaja Upavita, the sacred thread, and he is doing the yajna. That yajna is nothing but setting the niyati, whatever he set in the form of dharma and rules, and giving ghoras and aghoras based on that. And Upavitine, we discussed that yes, some folks who are doing the rituals, who are studying Vedas, trying to understand and interpret, yes, they will wear the sacred thread, which we call it as Upavita. But along with that, in any other profession, whatever they wear, whatever the gear they carry, that can be referred to as Upavita. That is another inner meaning. Pushthanam Pataye Namaha, we discussed about all these pushtis. Ishvara has all those pushtis in abundance, and we are seeking his grace to grant us some of those pushtis. So that is what we discussed till in the last video. And also we discussed about one important thing I missed here. The second verse of second Anuvaka, Namo Vrukshebhyo Harikesebhya Pasunam Pataye Namaha. We discussed about Pasu, Pasa, Pati. Okay, we discussed that we are all bonded or tied with those pasas. And we discussed about those pasas as hatred, disgust, shame, false modesty, fear, family lineage, birth, caste identity, social division or race, desires, expectations, pride, ego, arrogance, all those 8 pasas. Who tied those pasas? Ishvara is the one who tied those pasas because of our past karmas, like whatever the accumulated in the form of these karmas in the past life, and as part of this prarabdha karma, he is the one who tied with all those pasas, and then he has provided all these paths, karma, upasana and gnana paths, to see if we can move towards that, and if whenever we are ready, he will slowly start removing those bonds, those pasas. That is what we discussed, and so let us start with the next verse in the second Anuvaka. So the next verse is Namo bhavasya hetyai jagatam pataye namo. So let us discuss about this. Here the meaning of Namo bhavasya hetyai jagatam pataye is salutation to Ishvara, who can help us come out of this cycle of rebirths, multiple rebirths and multiple janmas. And he is the Jagadishvara, Jagatam Pataye. So here bhavasya means samsara, and hetyai means that who can remove, basically, who can stop the cycle of rebirths. So let us understand what samsara is, right? At a very high level, we discuss samsara is whatever we go through these cycle of birth, life and death, right? That is at very high level. So if you see birth, life, death, and again it goes through this like this. Okay, so this is, which is nothing but creation, existence and destruction. So this is at very high level what samsara is, but let us try to go a little deeper and try to understand what samsara is. So we discussed that those pasas, right? All those pasas are nothing but bondages or attachments. Because of those pasas, we have definitely these desires or expectations. So what happens is, whenever we have a desire, so that desire can be anything. I mean, it could be related to profession, it could be related to family, it could be related to finance, it could be related to business, it could be related to fame, it could be related to power, anything. All those come under desire. So when we have desire, what we do is we try to do some karma, which is action, we can call it, okay, which is nothing but karma. So to fulfill the desire, obviously we do something, and then that action will give a result, and that result will give an experience. So here what is happening? We have a desire. To fulfill that desire, we will do some action, some type of karma, and then that karma will result. That result can be success or failure. So if you see, this can be success or failure, and that result will give an experience. That experience is nothing but pain or suffering or pleasure or happiness. See, what happens is, when the result is success, our experience will be pleasure and happiness. We feel successful, we feel happy, we feel proud and all that. If the result is failure, we will go through that suffering, we will go through that pain and sorrow and all that. And then again we will start with another desire. It could be because if the result is a success, we will have that pleasure and happiness, and then we will go for another desire. If it is failure, we will go through the pain and sorrow, but we will go with some kind of vengeance or whatever. Somehow I have to do it. So that is, so we are always in this vicious circle. This is nothing but samsara. And while doing that, when then the result is pleasure or happiness. We will develop certain byproducts, certain qualities. Those are, if it is pleasure or happiness, along with that we will develop pride, ego, arrogance, selfishness, all that. And if the result is a failure, we will continue to go through that pain, suffering, sadness, sorrow and all that, but this will also create some byproduct qualities such as envy, jealousy, hatred, anger, all that. See, if you see, those are nothing but those pasas that we discussed. And while we are in this circle, we will certainly go through all those pasas. If you remember, we discussed about 3 important pasas. Those pasas are Kula, Jati, Varna. That also comes into this whole mix. Okay, so this is nothing but samsara. So we are in this vicious circle. While this is going on in this path, in parallel, we will be in this path as well. Karmic path, which is ritualistic. Upasana path, which is worship. Gnana path, which is knowledge path. See, like we discussed last time, Sanatana Dharma, the beauty of Sanatana Dharma is anybody can choose the path. And in the earlier video, we discussed about the paths that Ishvara provided us in the form of Vedas. Based on our based on our Adhikari Veda, in Sanatana Dharma we call it, our spiritual seekers need. Some people will pick this karmic ritualistic path, they enjoy that, they get those vibes, they feel blissful in that path. Some people do that upasana path, worship, they feel blissful in that path. Some people will be in the gnana path, trying to understand and do the inquiry and trying to understand the self. They may enjoy that path. So all of us, we will continue to do in this path. While we are in this path, we are continuing in this vicious circle. So all the time, most of our time, we will be in this vicious circle. Once in a while, we will take exit, or we'll change lane, come here, do whatever we need to. We will do some ritual, we will worship, or we will read some something related to Upanishad, or some knowledge we'll try to gain, and then we are back here. That is nothing but samsara. Okay. So here, bhavasya means samsara, and we are in this circle in this life. If you see the birth, life is, we are in this samsara, and because of these 8 pasas, we will end up doing lot of bad deeds, and again that gets accumulated. We talked about prarabdha karma, agami karma, that goes into that whole sanchita karma, and again rebirth. That is nothing but samsara. So here what we are saying here is salutation to Ishvara, who can help us to come out of this samsara. That is what it means. Namo bhavasya hetyai jagatam pataye namaha. So here Jagatam is Jagadishvara, basically. We are referring to Ishvara. So what is happening here? I mean, how can we come out of this vicious circle? That is the challenge. See, if you see, the whole crux of Namakam is, we discussed in the very first Anuvaka, I think initial videos, when we discussed about Ghora, Aghora, Shivam, we clearly discussed that we will see Ghoras, we will see Aghoras. When we see Ghoras, we go through the pain, suffering and all. When we see Aghoras, we will have pleasure, happiness. We will have to transcend from that and see everything as Shivam. We see that the way we should see this is, it should start with there is a Sanskrit word Vairagya or Vedanta, whatever you want to call it, but that is a very misunderstood term. So a lot of people, when we talk about Vairagya, they'll think that is not for us. Vairagya means, okay, those people are leaving all their responsibilities, duties. Maybe they are going into that sannyasi life and all that. No, that is not vairagya. Vairagya is developing detachment. Because here what is happening is, the main reason why we get sucked into this vicious circle is, when we have a desire, when we are doing some action, we set ourselves some expectations. Always. And if that expectation is not meeting the result, that will create a pain, sorrow. If that result matches with our if that result matches with our expectation, then we'll be happy and we will start bragging about it. We will self-praise. All these other byproducts will develop. So the whole point here is, definitely yes, we cannot, because we are in this transactional world, we have so many responsibilities and duties, we will have desires. When we are in this transactional world, yes, we should have these desires, and definitely we should plan, we should try to execute it. But while we execute it, we should not have the expectation. That is why we all know the famous Bhagavad Gita quote from Lord Sri Krishna, karmanyevadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. So even Lord Krishna, what is he saying? Do your karma. That means if you have desire, do your action, do your karma, whatever you need to plan and everything. But don't expect the results that will match your expectation. That's what exactly. So that is what we should start developing to come out of this vicious circle. Okay, and if you see in Bhajagovindam, the one that came out from Adi Shankaracharya, in Bhajagovindam also there is one, I'll try to recollect, yeah, Satsangatve Nissangatvam, Nissangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam, Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. See, what does it mean? Satsangatve Nissangatvam. See, when we do these rituals, right, anytime we do, we chant, we all together chant Namakam, do Abhisheka at someone's place or in our house or in the temple or somewhere. That is satsang. Basically, we are all trying to do something. While doing that, we should develop that Nissangatvam, which is detachment. We should develop the detachment. That means we should not be clinging towards something, that some expectation. Oh, I'm doing this ritual like this, I only chant like this, I can only pronounce like this. That is one way to see this. And the other way to see this, oh, I do this every X number of days, or I have been doing it for X number of years, or I know all the inner meaning of this, inner meaning of that. If we have all these kind of I would say desires to get some fame or to get recognition, to get something, that we should try to avoid. Basically, that is what, when we do it together, first thing we should develop is Nissangatvam. Nissangatvam is slowly start developing the detachment towards, okay, I am not going to have any expectation, I'll continue to have my all desires, I will plan, I will execute it, but whatever it is, it is not going to make me either suffer or pat my back or whatever, right? That is what we need to develop. And the other thing is, we should act intensely but without anxiety. Okay, and that is what bhavasya hetyai jagatam. So what we are seeking in this verse is salutation to Ishvara, who can pull us out of this vicious samsara. Okay, who has the power to, and he is the one who put us in this samsara. Because of our past karmas in our past lives, he put all those pasas, but he gave us all these paths, and he gave us opportunity to come out of that ignorance, come out of that avidya, whatever the pasas we talked about, right? All these pasas. So if we do that, then he is kind of indirectly helping us to cut that whole cycle. That is the first one. So let us go to the next one. The next one is Namo Rudraya Tata Vine Kshetranam Pataye Namaha. here Rudraya we know Namo, salutations to Rudra. Atatavine is, meaning of Atatavine is who, the Rudra who is always ready with a weapon. Kshetranam, Kshetranam is Kshetras basically. Let us discuss about that, right? So if you see from bhakti perspective, if you see, yes, all temples are nothing but kshetras, we call it, and all kshetras are built because of Ishvara Sankalpa, determination, or whatever you want to. See, if you see, some people will get an idea that, hey, I want to build this temple somewhere in US or in India or somewhere. That thought is nothing but Ishvara Sankalpa. Basically, Ishvara is invoking that person's intellect or buddhi or thought that, okay, there should be a temple built in that particular area. So all the, if you see, Kshetranam Pataye means he is the chief of all the temples. We should not go and brag that, hey, I built this temple because of me, I envisioned this temple in this area, and because of me, and we all put our names there, who built it, who donated to it and all that. But he is the one, actually, he is the one who, because of his sankalpa only, all these temples were built. That is one way to look at it. So the other way to look at it, the other inner meaning of kshetranam is, kshetram is nothing but the body. Our body is nothing but kshetram, we call it. And in our body, we discuss that we have 5 pranas, 5 upapranas, and 1 main life force. And then we have karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, and the inner organ. And we discuss that he is the one who is the antaryami inside us running this. So essentially, kshetranam pataye namaha means he is the one running this body, whether we agree it or not. Because if we ask ourselves a question, do we know about this body? Yeah, well, a lot of us may say, yes, I know about my body. But truly we do not know anything about our body, because we do not know how the respiratory system is working inside, how our whole nervous system, how our digestive system, how our motor organs are working, and what is going to create some pain or trouble tomorrow. We have no control over that. So even though we say, this is my body, I have full control on my body, but there is antaryami, there is the inner controller is Ishvara. He is the one who is running. Whether when we talk, when we listen, when we see, when we stand, sit, it's all because of that inner controller. And if in Bhagavad Gita also, it is referred to as Kshetragna. Kshetra means body, Gna means the one who knows about the body. Gna is nothing but Ishvara. Okay, and so that Gna is nothing but Ishvara, and that consciousness, we should call it, or Chaitanyam, we can call it. Or if you see in Advaita, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Okay, Sat is existence, Chit is consciousness, Ananda is blissful. So it is infinite existence, infinite consciousness, infinite blissful, basically. That is Satchitananda. But here what we are saying is Kshetragna. In the Gna is that Chaitanyam, that Gnana, or the consciousness. That Gnana is the one that is spreading inside us. Okay, when it spreads into our buddhi, we call it as Buddhi Chaitanyam. When it spreads or propagates into our indriyas, Indriya Chaitanyam, we can call it. So that is how we should look at our body, that he is the one who is running this body, who is the controller of this, who is the antaryami. So, and another meaning, kshetranam is kshetras are fields, agricultural fields also. So that is one way to look at it. We will come back when we come to next verse. And here in this verse, if you see kshetranam, see, when we say he is the inner controller, does it mean that he is inside everyone? No, it is not. Kshetranam pataye namaha is, kshetranam is a plural. Pataye is singular. So it's not that he is inside me, he's inside somebody, he's inside someone running it. No, he's not like that. He is everywhere. That is why we call it as infinite consciousness. So he's spread everywhere. That is how we should see. So let us go through the next one. Next one is Namas Sutaya Ahantyaya Vananam Pataye Namaha. Here Sutaya means charioteer, Radha Saradi. And Ahantyaya means that nobody can defeat him. See, if you see, we discussed about this body being Kshetra. Okay. Another way to see this body is nothing but a chariot. Okay, Radha. And he is the Radha Saradi. He is the one that is running. He is the charioteer. This Radha, this Kshetra, if you see, we are in a war, we should see. We should see it like that. Since our childhood, this chariot has been changing. Okay, it is getting hit. As we grow older, we will see a lot of changes in our body. Some of the things will not work eventually when we grow older and older. So this chariot will get impacted in the real life or war, whatever we want to call it. But the charioteer, actually, the Antaryami will not get impacted. That is what the meaning of Ahantyaya means. Nobody can defeat him or touch him. Vananam is chief of all the forests. So when we say the chariot is our body, right, the other way to look at it is this whole universe, right? This whole universe, you can see it as a chariot. Inside that, we have a lot of human beings, these mountains and trees and rivers, and we have these animals, all that. But if you see the whole universe as a chariot, he is a charioteer running this whole chariot. See, if you see, he is the one who set this whole niyati or the whole order. He is the one who is helping us get the oxygen. He is the one who is helping us to get sunlight. He is the one who is giving all the resources from the earth. So everything, if you see, he is the charioteer running. Okay, that's how we should see. So let us go to the next one. Namo Rohitaya Sthapataye Vrukshanam Pataye Namaha. Again here Rohitaya means the red. Rohita means red color. And here again we are referring to sun, who is in the red color. And the other way to look at is, when we see red, right, the way we have to see is, if you see all the humans, we have blood which is in red color. And who is the one who has decided that, okay, these are the specific blood groups, these are the compatible blood groups? Who did all that? We have to think about it. That is why we have to call him as the real charioteer. He is the one who designed all this, who is the architect of all that. That is what Rohita means. Sthapataye, Sthapati means the chief architect. So if you go to any temple, we definitely see the temple and we are amazed by the beauty of the sculpture in the whatever we see in the temple, right? So now think about it. Not only temple, even if you go to any man-made structure, a huge skyscraper or a building, we are always amazed by, oh, it's an amazing building, somebody must have designed this, and who is the architect and all. So, but now we never think about this whole universe. Like I explained earlier, the sunrise, sunset, oxygen, the plants, all the minerals coming out of earth, and like we discussed, all the pranas inside us, upapranas, indriyas, and the blood groups we talked about, and same thing with the animals. So who architected all this? Who is the chief architect or sthapati for this? That we have to think. That is nothing but Ishvara. That is Vanana Vrukshanam, chief of all trees. I mean, again, we are referring to, he is the one who created. Let us go to the next one. Namo mantrine vanijaya kakshanam pataye namaha. See here, mantrine means, see here, this is where it will, Namakam will start showing us different professions and different people, and we have to see Ishvara in all those forms. So here, mantrine means, see, in the last video we talked about upavitine pushtanam. Upavitine means people who, let us call them as priests, right? And here mantrine means, mantrine is administrators or ministers or whatever we want to call. See, if you see in any society, we need to have these people who are who can think strategically for the betterment of that society. It could be a society, it could be a government, it could be a country, whatever the region and all. So those people are mantrine. Okay, those are like, we can call them as thinkers, think tanks. So what we are doing here is, when we start referring to all these different professions and people, what we are referring to is, we are referring to Ishvara's Chaitanyam in those people. Because if you see, some people are given some skill, some spark or some knowledge or IQ, whatever we want to call it, they can use that to do certain things. Another set of people can use that to do certain things. That spark or that skill is nothing but Ishvara Chaitanyam. So we are giving salutations to that Ishvara Chaitanyam. Okay, they are in that just Upadhi, but the actual Chaitanyam is Ishvara Chaitanyam. So we have to recognize that divinity in all is correct, and that's how we should respect. That is ministers. Vanijaya means related to Vanijaya means a merchant or a trader or a businessman. So here, businessmen. So for one set of people, Ishvara may have given some kind of a skill where they can interpret what is in Vedas, and they can understand, they can learn, and they can do all these rituals. They can help people what is explained in Vedas in terms of explaining what is a dharmic way of living. All that may be some set of people. Thinkers, they have that skill to envision what is good for the society, what is good for the country, how to strategically plan. They can envision. That is another set of people. Another set of people is businessmen. They know how to do the trade, they know how to go and get all the goods that are needed for that society or country. So those are another businessmen. Kakshanam pataye namaha means, Kakshanam means, if you take from these strategics, ministers, thinkers, they need to have a chambers or closed rooms, that you can refer to as Kakshanam. And from business users perspective, businessman perspective, it is like difficult places. See, business, without businessmen, the society will not be able to run, because they are the one who can go to most difficult places to get goods, whatever we need. That is one way to look at it. And the other way to Kakshanam, another way to look at it is taking risks. Only these people can take risks, because of their risk taking ability, the society is able to get lot of goods that they need, and that's how society will run. So that is about this verse. So if you see, the most important thing we need to learn, like I explained in earlier videos, right? See, here it started talking about all the professions. Like we discussed in the last video, by birth we are all Shudras. Janmana jayate Sudra, they say in Skanda Purana. So based on our profession, we will, based on our samskara, we will be referred to as either this. Because it doesn't mean that, only certain people will have to become this, only certain people will have to become. No, in the current society we can see that everybody is able to do everything. Ishvara will give us something, some spark to everyone, some kind of knowledge, some kind of a skill, some kind of, we call it as vibhuti. So that's why even in Bhagavad Gita, there is something called Vibhuti Yogam. Lord Krishna also emphasizes on that. That is nothing but Ishvara Chaitanya. We are, when we say Namo Kakshanam Pataye Namaha, Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namaha means we are salutation to people in those professions because of the skill that Ishvara gave them. And at the same time, none of these people should develop any habits like this. Pride, arrogance, and ego that, oh, I know only that. Like these people should not think that only I am the one who can chant, who can understand Vedas. No, they should not. And these people should not think, oh, because of my brain power, because of my thinking, because of my envision, the society is able to run. And these people should not think that because of my risk-taking ability. No. Everyone should understand that they were given a skill or a spark by Ishvara. That is nothing but Ishvara Chaitanyam inside us because of the society is running. Okay, that is how we should look at it. And let us go to the next one. Namo bhuvantaye varivaskruta aushadhinam pataye namaha. Bhuvanta means the one who spread across earth, or the one who spreads the earth by doing farming. So here Bhuvanta means it is see we when we talked about kshetranam, we talked about landlords, right, who are owners of those kshetrana. Kshetranam pataye means for those agricultural fields, whoever are the landlords basically. And here we are talking about Bhuvantaye means the one who does the farming. So we are talking about farmers. So not everybody can do farming. So only certain people are given that skill by Ishvara, they can do farming. Okay, that is Bhuvantaye. Varivaskruta aushadhinam. Varivaskruta means people who are, we can call them as acharyas actually. Varivaskritulu means people who study all the Vedas and who study all the Upanishads, who study Brahma Sutras and maybe Bhagavad Gita, all that they can interpret that, they can write commentaries and they can explain it to the society, the dharmic way of living and how to avoid doing any bad deeds. Those in the current age also we see a lot of acharyas, right? Whether we want to call it as Swamijis or acharyas, whatever, gurus, whatever we want to call. So those are nothing but Varivaskritulu. And the other way to look at is Vari is another meaning we are referring to. Vari is water. Here Varivaskritulu means the people who are able to work on the water bodies. Like for example, we discussed about this river, right? Let us say this is a river. Now, there are a lot of engineers, irrigation, I don't know if we can call them as irrigation engineers, yeah, irrigation, right? Basically, they can envision how this water can be diverted to other areas and all that. So that is irrigation. Basically, let us call them as engineers. That is another way to look at it. Varivaskruta aushadhinam pataye namaha. Aushadhulu means, aushadhi means here medicine. Okay, again we are giving salutations to Ishvara who gave all these medicines. When we say medicine, what is it? Medicine is whatever the food we eat is nothing but medicine. Because when we eat food, what is happening? It is working as a medicine to our body. We are absorbing all the nutrients, whatever we need, and we are getting rid of whatever we don't need. So anything that we eat is nothing but aushadhi. So we are referring to Ishvara, hey, you are the one who provided us this food. When we say he is the one who provided, yes, everything is coming out of earth. Everything is coming out of trees, whatever we eat. So it is nothing but Ishvara is giving us, and all these people are involved in that. All these people are one way or other helping the society to provide it to the society by using the skill that is given by Ishvara Chaitanya. So let us go through the next one. Namo Uchchair Ghoshayakrandayate Pattinam Pataye Namaha. See, this is known. See, this is good. We are looking at all professions in this Anuvaka itself. So to run any society, we definitely need warriors, because since olden days, even for even the current age society, definitely in order to have a peaceful society to run, definitely we want a dharmic way of living, everybody to follow dharma. But definitely there will be a lot of people who are who do not follow dharma, who will try to disturb the society, and we need some people who are like warriors. You can call them as soldiers in army, or you can call police, or you can call any type of armed forces, right, to protect the society. So here we are referring to warriors. So here what we are saying is only certain group of people will have that skill, because they may be very skillful in terms of they may be built very big, or they may have that skill to go and confront bad people. So that skill again is given by Ishvara. Here Uchair Ghoshaya Akrandayate means they see, in any war, right, we have people who are foot soldiers also. We call them as infantry. So when they are a part of that infantry, they will have to be very aggressive. They will have to go and fight with the enemy. So when they do that, they will give a big roar. In Telugu, you can call it as Garjana. They will give a big roar. So Uchair Ghoshaya Akrandayate means Uchair Ghosha means that is a big roar actually. So in the, and even in Hanuman Chalisa we always chant that Tino Lok Hankute Kampe. So here Hank means Tino Lok Hankte Kampe means all three worlds will tremble because of Hanuman's roar. That Hank is roar. Pattina, okay. Here Pattina means the Uchair Roshaya Akrandayate. Pattina means Pattina means it is one unit actually. So if you see, just you should see, we all should be amazed how it was written in Vedas. Pattina means it is a unit. In that unit, they call it as one unit, Patti, which has one elephant, one chariot, and 5 soldiers on foot, infantry we talked about it, and 3 horses. And there will be one chief for that Patti, for that unit. So now think about in an army, there may be multiple Pattis like that, multiple units. So here we are referring to Ishvara is the chief for all such Pattis actually. Okay. So that is the next one. The last one is Namah Krutsnavitaya Dhavate Satvanam Pataye Namaha. Krutsnavitaya means soldier wearing body armor. So now again look at it, right? So in Vedas, it was written about people or soldiers wearing body armor. So today we see in the current age also, they wear all these bulletproof vests and bulletproof helmets and a lot of such gear. That is nothing but Krutsnavitaya. Dhavate means those who are running in the battlefield. Satvana means those who follow the righteous path. So let us come back to that in a minute. So here Krutsnavitaya Dhavate means the one, see, that is from body armor perspective. The another inner meaning is Krutsna means the one who is spread all over. Okay. Good example is, like we refer to so many examples where Ishvara, we discuss qualities of Ishvara's omnipresence, omnipotence, omniscient, sarvajnata, sarvatmakatva, sarveswaratva, all those qualities, right? So we are referring to that Ishvara is spread everywhere. His consciousness is infinite and existence is infinite, all that. So when we say he spread everywhere, now Vitaya means the one, Dhavate means the one who is running. How it doesn't make sense when he is spread all over. How can we say that he is running? So here the meaning of running is, if you see the whole universe, it is constantly moving. If you see solar system, the earth is rotating in its own orbit and we are continuously moving. within our body the blood is flowing, the system is running. Even when we are sleeping, our system is running, we are breathing, and even the protons, electrons, it's around the nucleus, it is always constantly, that is nothing but that movement, we can refer to it as dhavate. Okay, that again, he is the one who is running the whole universe. Satvanam Pataye Namaha is, Satvanam is those who follow righteous path, he protects them. See, when we say those who follow righteous path, is those who are doing the dharmic living. Okay. We discussed last time that when we go to temple, when we see that Nandi, through Nandi we have to see Ishvara. Through Dharma we have to try to see Ishvara. So the dharmic way is very important. So what this is saying is, Ishvara will take care of all the sattvic, in the sense like who is living the righteous path. And how does he do that? The way it was explained is a cow going after a calf, because see, if you see a calf, the calf is like running around, jumping around, going in all directions. The cow is walking slowly, always behind the calf. So here it is being said that Ishvara is behind us. We are like those calves, running, jumping, going in different directions. But even if we are in that, basically here it is being said that a person, Sattvanam is a person who is in the righteous path, who has genuinely surrendered to Ishvara. Genuinely, whatever the path the person chose, that person in that state, he may be going like a calf, then Ishvara is always behind that person. That is what it means. So that is the end of this second Anuvaka. But so far we discussed that Ishvara is running the whole universe, and we have to see Ishvara in all these professions and all these people, that whatever the skill they have, that is the Gnana or Chaitanya, Ishvara Chaitanyam in those persons, and we'll have to, we are giving salutations to that in these people. So we cannot discriminate somebody, we cannot show partiality on someone because of their profession, because we have to understand that whatever the profession we are in, whatever the skill we have to see that it is given by Ishvara. That spark or that Gnana, whatever we have, it is Ishvara, nothing but Ishvara. So that is what about the second Anuvaka. So we will start the third Anuvaka from the next video. Okay, thank you.